What up, y'all? It's your boy, Antonio, with another episode of Thus Said the Lord unto me. So, such as I have, give I unto thee. How y'all doing? Again, this is not a part two. This is just me showing up again. Many are called and few are chosen. Boy, I tell you. But when you get called, when you get that on your shoulder, sometimes it's you want to just throw yourself around. Yep. So, what is the topic today? When you hear Goliath yelling blasphemies against the armies of the living God, David comes out and says, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that would blaspheme the armies of the living God?" Since I got the attention of certain select individuals that whom the Lord has called to watch these videos, I was talking about it earlier today in regards to the meat and the bones. Eat the meat, good meat. It's been on the grill. This ain't been this is not. It has no MSGs. This meat right here is fire. All right, it's fat. It's fat. You're not from the South, you can't say that word. And I threw all my silliness seasoning on top of that, so hopefully you can still eat. At least spit out the bones. All right. But this is where I'm gonna go with that. Because of my silliness, because of me interjecting me, there are those that don't know any better, that don't know not to judge. There's a reason why we don't judge. Okay? For what judgment ye judge, it shall be measured unto you. Okay? Judgment is not a bad thing when it comes from God, depending on what end of the spectrum you on. If you did right, you are sitting there with expectation, and that expectation is, I'm gonna get some ice cream. Because I did all my chores. I did what he told me to do. I did what my daddy told me to do, so I'm doing my silly little ice cream dance. So I got kids, so I know they dance. I know the little dance that they do. It's been a long time since they've been that little. Yeah. Anyway, or I didn't do none of my chores. There's a sink full of dishes, and it was my dish night. Oh, when my daddy get home, he gonna get home from work, he gonna be tired. I know I'm gonna get a whoop. See, it's what end of the spectrum you fall on. Okay. Now, here's what you're doing when you judge your brother and your sister. You gonna get a whooping, and it's gonna hurt, and you gonna cry, and I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh at you when you get a whooping, because I got some ice cream. So you licking your ice cream, while you watching them get a whooping. Do you not know that the heart of your Father is affected by how you treating, especially if it's your little brother or your little sister? Especially if you could have reached down there and helped them, but you chose to not because you wanted to see them get a whooping. See, God judges the hearts, and He's the only one that can. We can judge their fruit and determine whether or not we want to deal with them. We personally want to deal with them. So that's why the men gather grapes of thorns and figs of thistles. Even so, every good tree brings forth good fruit, and a corrupt tree brings forth corrupt fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth corrupt fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Ye shall know them by their fruit. Okay? Every tree that bringeth forth not good fruit is hewn down and cast in fire, and ye shall know them by the fruit. Alright. Just paraphrase that. It is in Scripture. Look it up. Show yourself to be approved. Show thyself to be approved unto God. Alright? So here, this is where I'm going. I'm going somewhere, and I'm tiptoeing, and very softly, because I love all my brothers and sisters, all y'all, even the ones I don't like. And this ain't somebody I don't like. It's just that I feel like I hear you. I hear the word, and I know that you know my daddy. I know that you're trying. I know that there's a lot of people who are looking for that know my daddy, and they're looking for the right way, and they're stumbling in the dark trying to get it right. And know that your daddy, he sees your heart, he sees your intent, okay? But you have to be careful with how you handle your brother or your sister, because they may not show their insecurities, but they're also looking at you too. They're also needing help along the way, so you can't be too spicy, because you'll push them away, and they may have needed you. But at the same time, you ain't nobody's punching bag. You know, don't come for me. You know what I'm saying? You feel that need to get a better understanding. Pray about it. Pray for me. You know. But yeah, don't come for me like that. And the reason why you don't do that is because our Father watches. He sees everything, y'all. He's watching everything. He sees everything, even when you don't think He's looking. He's always watching. He's always looking. That's the understanding that He's always watching. You don't want to do nothing that you ain't got no business doing, because He was there. He was there at the club. He was there in the VIP room. He was there when you was out there doing this, that, and the other. He was there. He was there when you was sneaking off. He was there when you was doing whatever nasty, filthy, disgusting, carnal thing you could possibly think of. He was there watching. And when we get that and grasp that idea, especially after we start seeing the signs and wonders and the things that He does to let us know that He loves us, and let us know that He heard us, and let us know that He's a present help in the time of trouble, then you start to realize, oh dang, He was there. Oh wow, when I was lying, when I was stealing, you know, I had that klepto spirit. I'm in the mall just ripping off stuff. I figure I was you know, and I'm not referring to myself, because so you won't be throwing these stones at me, to those that, like I said, I don't really like. I love you, but I don't really like you. To those, you know, those stones won't be thrown back at me. But we all have our vices. We all have our issues. There is none good. No, not one. Those are Jesus' words. They weren't mine. There are none good. Only the Father's good. Why callest thou me good? Understanding that. So, you know, we all got issues. We all got different problems. But here's the thing. I'm not going to write you off because in this season you're trying to get right. I'm not going to write you off because in this season of your life, you ain't got the revelation or the understanding of what you're supposed to be doing and how you're supposed to be walking. Okay? You may be in this instance. Now, I'm tiptoeing. You may be a Saul thinking you do God's service by rounding up these Christians. Okay? Only to be humble. You got to realize Paul's humility. We got to do. Okay. Jesus asked his disciples a question. He said, who did the master love more? And the response was about two people. One was forgiven a small amount of debt, and one was forgiven a great amount of debt. So Jesus asked the question was, who did the master, who loved the master more? And they said, well, I assume the one who owed more. How much did Saul owe? Paul. How much did Saul owe? The Pharisee Saul. Rounding up the Christians, binding them up, snatching them out of their houses like witches in the night, to deliver them to crosses, to be crucified, to be stoned to death. How much did Saul owe? And for God to have that much mercy, that much grace. Y'all forget, we talking about Paul. He wrote the whole New Testament, at least most of it. That's what, I don't remember how much the percentage is, because he ain't write, well, he ain't write Hebrews. And he ain't write, I don't think he wrote the Acts. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Anyway, my point is that Paul, y'all, okay? And ain't nobody more righteous than Paul. He wrote half the Bible. All right? He didn't suffer. He didn't suffer for real. You know what? Yeah, that type of suffering is stuff that I don't want to endure. I don't want to endure being shipwrecked. I don't want to endure. What does it feel like to get bit by a poisonous snake and have to have enough faith to shake it off, throw it into the fire, and keep walking? I don't want to know. I'll pass. So we talking about Paul, but we talking about the Paul who was murdering Christians, and God's grace was that kind of sufficient. So when he said my grace is sufficient, he meant that. Not only did it mean it, Paul understood it. So when you round up all those false prophets and all of those people that in this season you judge them because they done made mistakes, you write them down and write a list. You better make sure that you're on the right side, because if the devil gets a hold of that, he gonna try to break you with it. I'm sure as he tried to break Saul, to say you're not worthy of God's grace. Look at how many people you murdered, how many people that you drug out of their houses because they served the Jesus that you today now profess. I'm saying it from that perspective so that you can understand it from that perspective. And I think that a lot of times it's just the perspective. It's that what happens is that when you hear it in the sermon and not really understand by putting your shoes on, you got to take the shoes off. And then you got to put his on. And then when you put the shoes on, then you understand it from that perspective. And then you see it from a whole different, it's just like the Disney song. You hearing a whole new world. You know, and you looking around. And I don't like to refer to Disney because I don't. I'm not going to go there. I see them. Yeah. I would give y'all a fun fact, but I don't. No, I ain't gonna do that. You ain't ready for that. Especially what I'm talking about right now. And last thing I want to deal with that. But anyway, I say this and I say that over and over again. Touch not mine anointing and neither do my prophet any harm. Is because you don't want to touch something that God is doing something. When God got his hand on something, it's like you trying to touch it too. You don't want to touch something that God has already got his hand on because you're touching God. Don't touch his hand. He don't like to be touched unless he's allowing you to do it. And I take that back. You know what? Let me pull all that back, because that whole touch of virtue thing Jesus did with the who touched me, that ain't what I'm saying, and that's not what I'm referring to. What I'm saying is don't touch what God is considered holy. Okay? It is the moment where you take off your shoes, for the ground you stand on is holy. It is that moment that in this thing I'm doing something. Don't put your hands on it while I'm doing it. That's all. And for all of those that's trying to read into this has nothing at all to do with me. Nothing. I blow my kisses to my haters. At the end of the day, y'all gonna do what you do. They ain't gonna stop you. The word for the day is persecution. Persecution is the fire. All right? Stop running from the fire. That's what the Lord put in my spirit today. Stop running from the fire. Okay? I have called you to a work, and those persecutions, those fires that you keep dodging, they are meant to refine you. That's personal. But Jesus said something very plain. He said something about offenses. He said that offenses would come, but woe unto them for whom it cometh. I'm paraphrasing because I want to make sure. I want to say it, but I don't want. I know I can't. Yeah, I'm trying. To offend one of these little ones, it would be better for you to tie a millstone around your neck and to be cast into the sea than to offend one of these little ones. So, yeah, it's woe unto you. There is judgment there, but in the end, he's still using it. It is still Romans 8:28. I believe that's where it's at. All things. It is still at all things. Work together for good to them that love him, to them that are the called according to the purpose. Notice it said the called. It is the called. It's the title of it, the called. Anyway, but like I said, that's it, that's all. For who that's for, I love you. Like, for real. Sometimes I know that you didn't say anything remotely to me, but I just felt that there was a need that needed to be expressed for you. Only because of the fact I want to see you win. You dope. You're dope. Okay? But you can't be hanging his children. He ain't gonna let you do that. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. And that's it, that's all. Cause I noticed that I know you're following me. It's like half of these people that's follow me and they going, which I know y'all follow me. Again, y'all, there's a mystery to be revealed. How is it that I'm not getting no views? How is it that I'm not getting none of this stuff? Y'all, is everybody looking at this on incognito? I mean, I'm just saying, because I ain't getting no views. But it ain't about the views. I told y'all, it ain't about the views. This is about me doing my Father's will, and all glory and honor to him. I can't be reached. So, yeah. Unless I've already reached. You can't reach me. That he might be glorified. Because it ain't about me. It's not. It's not about the It ain't no fame and no accolades. It's just me. It's just Tony. Just Antonio. All right. And until next time, I love y'all with the love of Christ, and I'm out.